Oh hey! Sorry I haven't had time to talk to you recently. You see, I've been watching this channel for a month waiting for it to come back up so I can see the news report about me. That's not egotistical. I just deserve this after, oh I don't know, saving the world. What do you mean I did nothing? I called Mario, Santa, and Cerberus to go beat up the devil for me. But, I did summon the LM3 curse. With the help of two other guys. But they were other versions of me, so I summoned it all by myself. To also defeat the devil for me. But hey, the messenger is a key part of any plan. What, the guys? Oh, well, What a Weird World Box and Ethan are rebuilding the world. Currently, they've got into, let me see. Down the block. Huh? I missed someone? Oh yeah, Pebbles. He's out reviving all the billions that were murdered.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
Ooh, it's coming back up.
And we're back. We thought we would never be able to do this again. But thanks to one hero,
Yes.
it has the letter E in its name.
He's right.
You all know it. It's a cartoon.
That's me.
It's a great Lego Movie 3 logo.
Ugh.
In other news, EDP
God
has been let off free on
damn
all
it.
charges.
What? What do you mean? Oh shit, right, the review. Okay, got it. Dan Schneider is really weird. So Nick has this thing where they have a child actor take off after a successful project, and then they center the entire channel around the 12-year-old of the year. Why are we holding on this paragraph for so long? Before Jace, it was Drake Bell, and now it's young Dylan? I don't fucking know. But during my Nick sitcom's age, it was Jace Norman. He debatably got the most work on the network itself, which is crazy because his original show isn't that beloved. Speaking of that original show, dude, this was the shit when I was 10. I think the majority of people, especially fans of Dan Schneider's older shows, really don't get just how big Henry Danger was. Sure, it was nowhere near as big as The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Victorious, and especially iCarly. However, that doesn't undermine just how big of a hit this show was. It ran for almost 6 years and had 2 spin-offs. That's even more than iCarly. But it's also Dan's most divisive series, with some lumping it in with his final 2 shows for Nick quality-wise, while others think it stands with the originals. Where do I stand? It's mid! I will say, Captain Man and Kid Danger's dynamic is the best part of the show. They can be pretty funny together, and there are actually some kind of sincere moments between the two. And if I were to use one word that absolutely does not describe Henry fucking Danger, it's sincere. Also, for being the comic relief, Jasper really isn't one of the most annoying characters. He's never really that funny. Well, okay, this is pretty good.
Henry's homesick.
You said he didn't know where he was.
Yes, but we know that Henry would be in school unless he was homesick, or else he'll be in trouble.
Oh, right. Henry has hepatitis.
But he's also not necessarily annoying, and I think that's because everyone shits on him.
Why are you wearing a tie? Oh, because it's my first day at work and I want to make a good impression. Take off the tie.
Hell, even Piper gets in on it. Speaking of which, she and Charlotte are the actual worst characters on the show.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to waste your guys' time while I was pulling this manual out of my eye.
Did I mention that the laugh track makes me want to rip my head off? But both of them do get a lot better by the end of the show. The humor is a mixed bag. Okay, well, mixed is being generous. Most of it's bad, random, and social media references heavy, but sometimes the show manages to catch you off guard with an actually kind of funny joke or one-liner. But it happens so sporadically that it makes you think, did someone just sneak these in here? Because most of the humor is just the baby man. I fucking hate the baby man.
That means we can begin phase 2 of my plan.
Will someone wipe my face?
The sets and props are actually really good for the most part. Every time the characters have to go in front of junk and stuff, it looks hilariously different from its establishing shot. Granted, this only happened in one episode I watched for this video, so it may not be that big of an occurrence. And also, I think the house is starting to lean into Game Shaker's territory of everything being way too neat and fancy and unrealistic. Like, this looked like a house, this looked like a house, this looked like a house, this looks like a set. I'll say for a Nickelodeon show, the action actually ain't too bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not really good. But I think under the pretenses of this being a Nick sitcom, and only under the pretenses of this being a Nick sitcom, this is kind of impressive. I think the standout in the episodes I watched is the fight scene in episode 2 with the glass shattering. Although I will say otherwise, the show is actually kind of a bad superhero show. Like, by the end, every major character knows Henry's secret, which I feel takes away from all the drama that can be mustered from having a secret identity. Like, now, all Henry has to keep his secret from is random side and background characters we don't care about. And even if fucking, Oliver Puck finds out, it wouldn't matter because Henry never faces any consequences for revealing his secret identity. Charlotte, Jasper, Piper, they all just join in on the action. But hey, here I am for criticizing a Nick sitcom for its status quo changes, so I guess I should get in on some real life action, shouldn't I? The finale is actually pretty good, besides from them. Danger Force is so fucking lame, dude. That's right, I'm gonna roast the shit out of these kids. They are all so annoying in their own special way. And also the worst character in the show, who is like the one character who doesn't get better over the course of the show, does some stupid shit to drive the plot forward. But otherwise, it does an okay job of wrapping up Henry and Ray's dynamic. It's like the one episode in the whole show that actually takes itself seriously. I actually got a little sad listening to Ray and Henry's last talk. But then these fucking guys butt in. If it wasn't a half setup for a spinoff, this would genuinely be a good ending to the series. If this was the last scene in the show, then that would be kind of impactful. But we can't do that because we need to set up Danger Force. So yeah, Henry Danger. It's not really a good comedy or superhero show, but I don't know, man. I still kind of like it, but it's definitely because I watched it 5 years ago. But there's one problem with this show. There's only one Jace Norman. Splitting Adam is a psychological horror starring Jack Griffo as his beef with Jace Norman escalates to the point where he loses his mind and starts seeing his face everywhere. Yeah, I feel you, man. This is me after this video. Now, when you hear the premise of a boy cloning himself, the first thing you think would be, wow, that sounds expensive, with all the face replacement CGI you would need to make this look good. Well, Splitting Adam takes a unique approach. It doesn't do that. Yeah, every time the atoms are in the same setting or are talking to each other, they do one of three things. One, they just don't show them together in the same shot. Two, they very obviously just film two different takes on a green screen and mash them together. Or three, they do whatever the fuck this is. Yep, they are totally both there, movie. I believe you. This movie begins with a scene of excessive Jace Norman torture. Also, what film has the balls to do a title drop like this?
All you can do is breathe. Hope an easier life is somewhere out there.
So Adam really likes this one girl, and by that I mean he stalks her.
Or does this have something to do with the time I caught you secretly snapping phone pics of Lori while she was teaching basic rescue? They were for the newsletter, okay? I swear.
Ha ha ha, he should be behind bars. But to get to her, he has to get past this absolute Chad, Jack Griffo. Chad Griffo. Is he her boyfriend? I don't remember. And I'm not rewatching it to find out. Although it's pretty funny because the girl and Jace Norman are like 13 and 14. And Chad Griffo is clearly a grown-ass man at this point. I know he's supposed to be younger in the movie, but I like to watch this movie and think that he's not. And he has a very real beef with these fucking kids. Jace is also being stretched thin through too many jobs. But then his big loser uncle, Magic Mike, shows up and immediately puts these kids to work.
Now, for my next trick, I'm going to make this miracle of not-so-modern technology go from this van to that garage without even laying a finger on it.
Gift cards?
For your efforts, kind gentlemen. Chop chop.
Bro, that guy's not even the kid you're babysitting. But one night, while looking for his sister, he gets jump scared into his uncle's machine. That was more horrifying than the entirety of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And then the atoms get a splittin'. We got stupid Jace Norman, nice Jace Norman, party Jace Norman, and sensitive Jace Norman? Yeah, you don't see how some of these guys are a little similar here? Like, you don't need party and stupid. They're both just wild idiots. And most of the time, sensitive just acts like nice Jace Norman. Also, he's definitely an Amish schoolboy. Like, look at that fucking haircut. So they all try to impress regular Jace Norman's personality-less crush.
Hey! Who did that?
Him! What's up, bitch? Come and get me!
You left it! Stop!
There's no way he can outrun Jack Griffo.
Lifeguard!
No, Jace Norman's not faster than him.
Paper! Bring it, Vance! Can't hide from me!
He outran him, okay. Maybe I just don't get the Norman grind. But they need one more clone to get this in the bag. They need Chad Norman. Wait, how did that girl drown by just going down the slide? Did she not know how to swim? And in that case, why did she go down the slide? It did work at first, but the nice guy can never win, so regular Jace Norman steals the girl. So then Chad Norman beats up all of the Jace Normans. How did he overpower all of them? So then the movie pulls a very original plot beat where the girl breaks up with Jace Norman, oh no! But then Jace busts out his inner Logan Paul and apologizes.
Oh, I've been an idiot. I was scared. Scared I wouldn't say the right thing or, be cool enough. Thanks to you, you showed me that the real Adam might not be so bad after all. If you just give me one more chance, I promise I'll never pretend to be someone I'm not ever again.
This is an easy F tier.
And then suddenly, Jace Norman's dying. But don't worry, because nice Jace Norman read the script and found out he's supposed to show regular Jace Norman a video explaining his disease. So instead of curing his disease, he decides to go do a magic show for his job so he doesn't get fired. Keeping a flow of cash is more important to this man than his life. I respect the grind. And then he goes to confront Chad Norman.
Well.
Oh my god, Chad Griffo's back! And then it's time for the epic final battle between Jace Norman and Chad Norman, where we suspiciously never see both of their faces in one shot. And then Chad Norman dies. But oh no!
Oh, no, you gotta be kidding!
Dude, just grab the rail. It's right there. But don't worry, because the other Jace Normans are here to save them. And then they kill themselves. And the movie wraps up with a setup for a sequel that never happened. This movie sucks dick, 10 out of 10. Now time for Jace Norman's furry arc. This film begins with some epic parkour. Then, this guy's confronted by some shady military men. Then he gets shot and presumably dies in a warehouse because we never see him again. The only logical way to begin a Rufus movie, if you ask me. So then we see this new kid, white boy, who just moved into a new neighborhood, with his only friend being his dog, Rufus. This is Jace Norman.
Lots of new faces.
You are talking to yourself. At school, White Boy runs into this girl who speaks of herself in the third person.
Now that's front page material.
I guess psychos attract.
I was blue.
Why are you blue?
So White Boy has no friends. How do I know this? Well, it's a very subtle detail that takes multiple rewatches to get.
Night, buddy. You're a good friend. In fact, in this town, you're my only friend.
But because of an amulet Rufus picked up on a walk. So in a choice clearly inspired by Catwoman 2004, Jace Norman plays a human that acts like an animal. As it turns out, dogs can speak and remember things, and it's just their species that hold them back from doing so. So White Boy takes Rufus to school. That's assault. Then government dudes are searching for the amulet.
Thinkable sums of money I will not give up. Okay, but it's gonna take a miracle.
Aw shit, what's gonna happen next?
Who's that? Rufus, wait!
A miracle indeed.
Clearly they had Chris Nolan on the script. Then Jace Norman gets called up by White Boy's crush for an interview.
The whole school wants to know. Will you be taking a special someone to the dance?
Well, Paige, turns out I've been meaning to talk to you about that very subject.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a problem with that relationship. And now it's time for prom.
It's my big surprise. Paige? Who told you?
I'm gonna
Go get some punch.
Oh my god, they are actually doing a love triangle with the dog. When I saw that this movie was only 42 minutes long, I was pumped. In my opinion, these movies should be kept short and sweet. But this movie is too short. The basic principles of storytelling, as in, you know, conflict, got speed ran in the past couple minutes. This movie basically just has 2 acts and then a 5-minute break in the middle to establish conflict between the main duo. So then the movie pulls a very original plot beat where White Boy doesn't want to be friends with Jace Norman anymore, oh no! Only this time it gets resolved after Jace Norman walks out. White Boy and his girl gets crowned prom king and queen. White Boy gets kidnapped. Rufus and White Boy's girl go to save him, and these literal children beat the bad guys and saves White Boy. Ironically, the more rushed movie drags out this conflict for longer. Why was that necessary? And then bad guy is defeated, but Rufus dies! Nah, lol, JK, because we have to do every cliche ever, we have a fake out death in Rufus 2016. Didn't think we would be taking cues from anime, but I don't know what to think anymore. And everyone lives happily ever after. And the end credits are in the same font as Splitting Atoms. In fact, this movie in general is just kind of a sped up version of Splitting Atom. Like, unpopular main character gains popularity through an insane magical event, and it ends with this main character giving up this magical thing getting the girl. And also there's that one cliche we mentioned. Hell, there's even another setup for a sequel that... Wait. Did happen?